joining me. Today is Sunday, March 9th, Sunday, February 9th, 2020. Sorry, I kind of got ahead of myself there. So we had a 16.1 in the Southern Atlantic today. Not sure what type of quake this was, but most likely it was a thrust 16.1 because this is along a thrust fault. See the volcanic arc here. We had two thrust faults today, mega thrust faults, though not at mega thrust strength. 6.2 quake at 31.3 kilometers. Definitely thrust. You know, they raised that from 16, it was now 32. And we had another quake in Barstow, California, around 3.9 magnitude. This one is showing strike slip characteristics. We also had another thrust, or in the subduction area. Let's go to 7 days. I'll show you where it happened. It's 116 kilometers. But look at this. Look at the. This is indicative of a subduction of actually not thrust. This is actually more indicative of strike slip, because you see this doesn't have the characteristics of a thrust. We have several areas that is having indications. Hold on, I don't know what quake. Normal faulting. This is normal faulting. This is a divergent boundary. First of all, it's very shallow, 10 kilometers in depth. It's unsure where it was, but this is definitely not thrust related. This one, very likely thrust quake. Definitely, this is definitely thrust. Depth of 43.6 kilometers in depth. There's a subduction zone here. Not sure how quick this is, but most likely thrust. It's pretty deep, around 35 kilometers. There was a quake in South America that I believe was thrust. This one here. Sorry, this one I was looking for. This is the one I was looking at. Strike slip, as you can see. Strike slip faulting. See, you can see the motion here. But look at the depth. 103.8 kilometers. Even in subduction zone, you could actually have strike slip faults in subduction zones too. Let's go 30D significant worldwide. This is 6.7 quake in Turkey. Strike slip, not thrust. Strike slip. You had a 5.2 quake in Greece. Not sure what quake that was. Had a small earthquake swarm in Alaska, looks like. With the largest magnitude, being about a looks like that was the main shock there. You had two main shocks. You had three. You had one, two. You had several 3.1 quakes. Showing that nobody felt it, but this is a seismically active zone, though. More quakes in Hawaii. It's 4.2, had the characteristics of, let me see. You had a quake around Napalo. One person reported feeling it. So let's change topics and talk about the weather now. I know what I saw earlier today about the GFS was forecasting a snowstorm for New York. However, the European model was disagreeing, so it looks like I'm not forecasting snow for New York. It's too good to be true, and I made my own prediction saying that New York City won't get another inch plus snow event for the for the rest of the winter, and I'm holding true with that. A year earlier, I said that New York City won't see 2+ inch snow event for the rest of the winter. Now I'm saying not even an inch plus. This is the worst winter I've ever seen, guys. So let's go to the 12Z. I haven't seen the 0Z run yet, but I'm gonna run you guys the 18Z run. So we saw a few snow flurries. Basically, that's about all. Snowstorm Thursday into Friday it's showing. Let's go to hour 120. Actually, let's go even further back. Let's go to hour 114. You know what I think the low pressure system is going to be? I think it's going to be in the Ohio River Valley area for 0Z. It's got to be, because 0Z runs are usually more accurate. As I said, Ohio River Valley, exactly as I anticipated. Why? Because that's what the Euro said. You always go by what the Euro says. You know what? I'm not even going to go to I'm at hour 165 right now. You know what? Total, I'm going to go to total precip accumulation. I'm not even going to look at that. All of this is going to be rain. You know how much snow New York City is going to have? Maybe up to 1 inch on the ground, which will be gray. New York City's not going to have any accumulation. Okay, let's see when that happens. See? Basically, anything after hour 240, you can't really count on it. So see? Everything's going to the north, to the north, to the north, to the north. Showing a major storm. I mean, it's showing a very negative NAO. I mean, but I don't trust what the NAO is predicting. I mean, what the model is predicting. I mean, look at this. NAO is going to be positive the whole time. Let's look at the AO right now. It's not going to go negative. It's going to stay positive the whole time. Yeah, we're going to go off the chart positive, and then it's just going to go back down to -2. Yeah, this is freaking crazy. This whole winter sucks. It just sucks, guys. Even though the PNA is positive, the AO is doing whatever the hell it wants to do right now, guys. Like, the AO is just, the NAO is just, doing whatever the heck it wants to do. PNA, like, guys, usually when you have a positive AO, you're not going to get any snow. Like, you need a negative NAO, you need a negative AO, like, in order to get good snow events. Yeah, like, this isn't going to happen. Trust me. This ain't going to happen. See, I'm using the mean. I'm using GEFS ensembles. You know how much snow New York City is going to have from that? About 1 to 2 inches, which is going to be in the gray. 1 to 2 inches. Look at that. I was right. You look at the ensembles. You want to see how much snow New York City is going to get? You look at the ensembles. Basically, I'm right. Look at that. Hardly any snow. Let's look at the Canadian right now. Let's see how much precipitation the Canadian's going to have. By the way, I haven't seen any of the models. Based on what I'm seeing here. Okay, yeah, the Canadian's forecasting snow, but I'm not buying it. I'm not. Canadian is forecasting snow. Of course, to the north. You know what? I'm going to look at the European now. Now let's look at this. 500 millimeter height anomalies. Yeah, you see this right here, guys? Everything's going to go to the north. Yeah. Right. It's going to go way to the north. Let's look at thermodynamics here. Europeans trying to show another storm. Very, very unlikely, guys. I mean, this winter is just not supportive of snow. look, European was showing a major storm just a few days ago. I mean, look at this. See what the European was showing here? MSLP anomaly. Let's look here. This is for Friday. And now let's look now. Big changes, guys. Look at that. Again, big changes. The storm just, this system just blows up. Looking at thermodynamics, so let's go to back to continental United States. Look at surface temperature. So it shows a warm system. Let's look at the icon model. Let's look at 12Z icon. Actually, let's look at the Virginia Quake thrust fault. This is a thrust fault, guys. This fault runs parallel. The fault that caused the 1884 quake was not associated with the Ramapal fault. In fact, it was associated with an east-west trending fault. Not these ones, but it was more like this. This is a 125th Street fault right here. Actually, no, this is the 125th Street fault right here. We actually had a fault. We had a 0.9 quake right here. In fact, let's do this history again. Let's just say you had a 2019 quake here in Millerstown, Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. 26 point. A thrust quake. Oh, look at that. A thrust quake. Yep, so you had a thrust. 3.0 in 1991. Probably doesn't even have a moment tensor. Nope. No moment tensor. The 4.8 in 1992. No moment tensor. And let's see here. The biggest quake in Pennsylvania history. Some of the bigger quakes. Can't really have a moment tensor there. 4.2 in Pennsylvania, 1984. No moment tensor. Of course, the Virginia quake did have a moment tensor. 1984 quake. Nope, no moment tensor here. Mine explosion, 1991. Probably mine. Yeah, probably. Rock burst. cool I want to show you. Speaking of Ibex salts. Let's go back on topic now. Let's go back to, see, 3.7 Thunder New England. You had a 2.6 in 2001, which was felt by 0 people. Trust me, it was felt by a lot of people. This quake was along, which fault was that? Right near Central Park. Let's see what fault that was. It looks like the one that runs from the Barclay, just near the Barclays Center, just west of Central Park. So let's see. Let's match that description. Yep. See that lake there? Right about here. So this fault right here. So this is the 125th Street fault. Let's go to latest earthquakes. Let's go back to search earthquake catalog. Let's go since 1990. And we're going to go to minimum 1.0. Draw a rectangle map. Let's just increase the range just a little bit. Not too much, but just to actually, let's shrink it to just the New York City area. Use this region. Search. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Oh, right. .9. Use this region. But let's exclude Montreal. Perfect. Use this region. Let's go from the year 2000. It's very recently. Let's go recent. Boom. Look at this. You have a seismically active area here. You have a 4.5 in Virginia. One person reported feeling it. It's probably because when it just, the website was just created probably back then. Surprised only one person reported feeling a 4.5. What looks like an earthquake swarm, or maybe aftershock sequence, to the 3.3. 2012, you got 390 people reported feeling it. That's more normal, you know. A cluster of reported quakes. I remember when I was a kid, there was an earthquake I felt in New York City. Oh, there it is. Boom. The 0.9 quake. 0 reported feeling it. 0 felt reports. No felt reports. I might have felt it. I remember feeling a little shaking, but probably by a railroad station at the time, so. Foreshock, aftershock, I guess. Foreshock here. Foreshock, main shock. 0.3? That's weird. 0.3 kilometers in depth. And still 0 people reported feeling it. So that's weird. Huh. Alrighty, let's go to YouTube and type in. Yeah. You know, Bernie won the New Hampshire debate by a lot.
The story of General Grievous is one ingrained with pain. As most individuals know Grievous, he is the most famous and possibly deadly Jedi killer.
We're now talking to two young people from South Burlington.
Burlington.
All right, one from Burlington. What is your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, and your name is? Mike Blair. And Mike, you're from South Burlington. Michelle, you're from Burlington. Well, let me start off by saying it's an interesting hairdo.
Thank you.
Lipstick is also very interesting.
That's what I'm here to watch. Okay. Where is that earthquake video? There was a New York City article, 2001 New York City earthquake. No, what if 10.0? Come on. Two 2001 NYC earthquake. Ah, there we go. And February known videos. Two 2001 New York City earthquake. There we go. That was on Facebook? No. So I gotta go to Facebook to see it.
Sums it up. The streets of...
It was like boom, boom.
That pretty much sums it up. The streets of Long Island City are calm now, but around 7:30 Wednesday morning, there was a whole lot of shaking going on. Residents took a wild stab at what they thought the cause might be.
I thought that maybe the boiler in my building blew up.
Something, maybe like a plane was crashing. It was so strong, so scary.
I thought it was a dumpster passing by, really. I never knew it was an earthquake.
Oh, it was a little earthquake, all right. 2.4 on the Richter scale. Oh, it was a little earthquake.
So scary.
I thought it was a dumpster passing by, really. I never knew it was an earthquake.
Oh, it was a little earthquake, all right.
They're the Redbirds. You don't see them anymore. Long Island Railroad went from the Redbirds to the R62 to the R188. Yeah. And let's see where that quake occurred. 2.4. That was the one January 17th. 0.3 kilometers in depth. And that quake occurred in northeastern Manhattan. And you had a quake after 9/11. October. I see earthquake. These events are significant because they mark the first recorded online earthquakes to occur within the confines of New York City. Incidentally, for comparison purposes, only the collapse of the Second World Trade Center registered 2.1 and 2.3 on the Richter scale, according to seismologists at the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory. Yeah. Videos. Mayor Giuliani earthquake. Let's see. Mhm. That's not what I want to look at. Oh, darn it. Just close that out. Let's go back. Get too many windows open. So the euro, I already saw. Forget about that. Okay. Alrighty, let's look at. Let's show the 4.6 in Maine. There was a larger earthquake in Maine, I remember. It was in 2006, I believe. Ah, there we go, 3.7. No, I think there was a larger than one. There was a much larger one than 3.7. 3.7? No. There was a larger one than 3.7. That's probably the big one for New York then. Some of this could be from post-glacial rebounding. But this one is the Ramapo fault. You can actually trace it here. Over Quake, let's see. Strike slip. 16,860 people reported feeling it. Only magnitude 3 and above, alrighty. That's the one, the 4.7 in Maine. October 16th, that was in New York City at the time. A thrust quake in, of all places, in Maine. That's weird. And reported some strong shaking. Wow, 27,173 people reported feeling that one. That's strong. Remember there was a 4.6. Another thrust, wow. I remember feeling it because 0, 0. No, I don't think that was the one because I remember it was during the day I felt it, one of them. It was one in like 2006, which occurred at midnight. 22nd, 2006. 1039 UTC. No, wasn't the one either. I think I did feel that one. I definitely did feel that one because 2003, August 26th. Yeah, I remember feeling a quake in 2003, right around this time. Two something in the afternoon. Yep, that sounds about right. August 26th. You know, I wasn't in school. It was early afternoon. Sums it about right. Maybe then I truly never actually felt an earthquake. 2002. A thrust quake. Another thrust. Yep, people in New York City felt that one too. 2002 NY quake. Earthquake. Videos.
All right, morning folks. This is Emily Stigliani, an editor here at the Free Press with
Joel Banner-Baird. I'm a reporter here at Burlington Free Press.
And I'm about to move Joel through the top 5 stories you need to know this morning. So without further ado, number 1.
Number 1, and I hope this is the right order, we have an update on the case of investors in the state EB5 program. What shall we say, a less than above board transactions with their Ambrosio on the court case that is attempting to disentangle this Ponzi-like scheme and updates it with some allegations of sexual misconduct and
a lot of allegations.
Updates it with some allegations of sexual misconduct and that is attempting to disentangle this Ponzi-like scheme and updates it with some allegations of sexual misconduct and
a lot of allegations flowing. So
right.
Check out the story because there's a lot of allegations, responses. So it's a good catch up this morning. So without
right.
further ado, let's go right into number 2.
Well, let's do the beards. Vermont prides itself, Vermonters pride themselves for the Make-A-Wish.
not even possible. How can any quakes be that powerful? Events occurred throughout the early European settlement of North America. Some of the best recorded first-hand accounts were from Catholic missionaries that work in the area. These records were scrutinized to help determine the scale of damage and estimate the damage of the quake in the absence of abundant records from that time period. Effects, tectonic setting. See that what it is? Since is one of the most seismic 7.3 to 7.9 event, a magnitude 7.0 event, 6.0 event in 1816, a 6.5 event in 1870, magnitude 6.2 event in 1925. Because these concerns, the Charlevoix seismic zone is considered to be highly hazardous earthquake zone. And it is comparable to those in British Columbia, where earthquakes are due to the movement of the tectonic plates. Contrast, the CSZ is an interior of the North American plate, and its origin is not well known. It could be a new developing fault system. Basically, this could be a new developing fault system. It's from an asteroid impact occurred millions of years ago. St. Lawrence Rift System. The rift system trends northeast and southwest and forms a half graben that links the Ottawa, Bonnetry, and Sangway grabens. The rift system extends more than 1,000 kilometers along the St. Lawrence Valley from the Ottawa-Montreal area. Within the system, fault reactivation is believed to occur along the late Proterozoic to early Paleozoic normal faults related to the opening of the Lapitous Ocean. So the fault has been reactivated, basically. So wow. The original impact structures, basically the crater was 54. Miles in diameter. Compared with most other lunar blasts, Mare Obstacle Orientally is less flooded by Mare basalts, so much less of the structure is visible. The basalt in the central portion of the Oriental Basin is less than 1 kilometer in thickness, which is a much less than Mare basins on the Earth-facing side of the Moon. There's even a chance that Mars could still be volcanically active. let's go back now. We're looking at earthquakes, weren't we? Yeah, there we go. No. Okay, that's a 6.2 that occurred earlier. Moment tensor still has not identified, but based on what I'm seeing, it's probably going to be a thrust. Oh, it's on the southern edge of the island. This is the volcanic chain here. It's getting late. I gotta be going to bed, and I haven't even checked if anyone's watching this live stream. And looks like there's only one person watching. Let's see, analytics. All right, so let's go back now. I'm really tired. 4.3 in 2020. Oh yeah, recently. Nobody felt it. There's no one for anyone to feel there. There's hardly anyone there for anyone to feel the quake. Strike slip. Look at that. Indicative strike slip such normal faulting. At 589.6 kilometers depth. That's in the subduction zone. In the lithosphere. This is not even the asthenosphere. This is the lithosphere. Asthenosphere. Wait. Yeah, that's in the lithosphere. Because the lithosphere is below the asthenosphere. So you have the asthenosphere, you have the lithosphere. Sorry, the earthquake actually happened most likely in the asthenosphere. I think the subduction quake actually might even happen at the asthenosphere mantle border. You could also have strike slip events along subduction zones here. Basically, this is where thrust quakes occur. So mega thrust quakes happen here. When you get further down, you'll most likely get what is known as strike slip quakes, where here they would slide past one another. Well, you would get the megathrust quakes over here at the convergent boundary, right where the ocean crust meets the land, the land crust. You have reason why the ocean crust is denser and collapses down is because of all the ocean water on top. So we have volcanic arcs because of water. Water both actually lowers the melting point of rock, causing magma to form, and acidic magmas, which causes the volcanoes to be explosive. But as I said, water is actually the drive of most of the volcanism on Earth. Water, something that puts out fire, is ironically responsible for most of the volcanism on Earth. How? The water is heavier and denser, which makes the crust, which the water overlies, denser as a result. So the ocean crust, the denser ocean crust, because of all the water on top, is forced under the lighter the continental crust, which is not bound by all that water, so the ocean crust dives down. But even down here, where you don't have any, locking going on, you can also get strike slip quakes along. You could get quakes here too. You could even get faulting here because even though you're well below, you're not in the crust. You still have fractures in the rock. You still have rock there. And because the rock may be hot and plastic, it's not molten until you get down in like the mantle. But if you're not going to be in the mantle, if you're like in the asthenosphere, you're going to have earthquakes there too. Usually strike slip. The megathrust quakes, the one that shows up as blue in the middle, tend to occur right in this area. The area that causes tsunamis is usually in the shallow areas. There we go. A new type of earthquake. Upper mantle. Wait. A team from Caltech in Pasadena detected small earthquakes are occurring along the Newport Inglewood Fault, lying deeper than 24 kilometers in depth, 15 miles, all the way to the Earth's upper mantle, are representing a whole new type of earthquake. That's very bad. You know why? Mainly because if it's going to be occurring near the mantle, you could be having volcanic activity because magma can rise through the cracks and go to the surface, and while you won't have explosive eruptions like along subduction zones, you could have volcanic activity along grabens as well. It is the largest strike slip earthquake ever recorded. In strike slip earthquakes, land on either side moves in horizontal direction. And the rupture followed the most complex path ever imagined by modern seismology. Most mega earthquakes usually occur at subduction zones, where an oceanic plate is sinking beneath the continental plate. For example, the March 2001 Japanese earthquake. So surprising that this mega earthquake was strike slip, or it is equally surprising that this megaquake ruptured not on a plate boundary, but within the subducting oceanic plate. Dynamics of earthquakes in the oceanic lithosphere. Yeah. Function of TA is equal to T over T is less than or equal to 0.06 seconds. What's amazing is I gotta go to bed now, guys. I'm really tired. And I have work tomorrow. I gotta go to bed. Thank y'all for watching. Good night.